something from away, run a polka dot. Run a polka dot, something from away, run a polka dot. Jane and Jane, and she think nobody like she. Jane and Jane, and she think nobody like she. Run a polka dot, something from away, run a polka dot. Run a polka dot, something from away, run a polka dot. Jane and Jane, and she rocks her body with high. Jane and Jane, and she rocks her body with high. Run a polka dot, something rock away, run a polka dot. Run a polka dot, something rock away, run a polka dot. Jane and Jane, and she walk up in liquid style. Jane and Jane, and she walk up in liquid style. Run a polka dot, something rock away, run a polka dot. Run a polka dot, something rock away, run a polka dot. Jane and Jane, and the village fire run wild. Jane and Jane, and the village fire run wild. Run a polka dot, something rock away, run a polka dot. Run a polka dot, something rock away, run a polka dot. Jane and Jane, and she think nobody like she. Jane and Jane, and she think nobody like she. Run a polka dot, something rock away, run a polka dot. Run a polka dot, something rock away, run a polka dot. Jane and Jane, and she think nobody like she. Jane and Jane, and she think nobody like she. Run a polka dot, something rock away, run a polka dot. Run a polka dot, something rock away, run a polka dot. Run a polka dot, something rock away, run a polka dot.
Basement level vibes with another one, straight up blackness. Who tell the truth? Mark Benscop, defend the ghetto youth. Mark Benscop, radio station is the fruit. Mark Benscop, straight up from the root. Mark Benscop, who tell the truth? Mark Benscop, defend the ghetto youth. Mark Benscop, radio station is the fruit. Mark Benscop, straight up from the root. Mark Benscop, I do it for the love, him not do it for no money. Straight up, him attack, educating everybody. Big up my friends and big up my family. Turn on the radio, catch the vibes, it's integrity. Straight up, Benscop stands for unity. One people, one nation, one destiny. Free up the truth in the air, even the blind can see. The deaf can hear, the dumb can talk, the cripple can walk. Boom. Who tell the truth? Mark Benscop, defend the ghetto youth. Mark Benscop, radio station is the fruit. Mark Benscop, straight up from the root. Mark Benscop, who tell the truth? Mark Benscop, defend the ghetto youth. Mark Benscop, radio station is the fruit. Mark Benscop, straight up from the root. Mark Benscop, we have to gather wrong, grab a seat and sit down, pay attention. Education, liberation, we have to stand strong. Benscop upon the radio, lively up the program. Everybody call somebody and let them turn and tune and on the radio and catch the boom song. We boom it up already, we have to boom it up again. Expose and reveal him. Who tell the truth? Mark Benscop, defend the ghetto youth. Mark Benscop, radio station is the fruit. Mark Benscop, straight up from the root. Mark Benscop, who tell the truth? Mark Benscop, defend the ghetto youth. Mark Benscop, radio station is the fruit. Mark Benscop, straight up from the root. Mark Scap I do it for the love, him not do it for no money. Straight up, him attack, educating everybody. Big up my friends and big up my family. Turn on the radio, catch the vibes, it's integrity. Straight up, Scap stands for unity. One people, one nation, one destiny. Free up the truth in the air, even the blind can see. The deaf can hear, the dumb can talk, the cripple can walk. Boom. I who tell the truth. Mark Scap, defend the ghetto youth. Mark Scap, radio station is the fruit. Mark Scap, straight up from the root. Mark Scap, I who tell the truth. Mark Scap, defend the ghetto youth. Mark Scap.
Hello, this is attorney Shellen Washington, owner and founder of the Washington Law Firm, located at 455 Utica Avenue in Brooklyn, New York. We're specialized in medical malpractice, personal injuries, matrimonial law, and landlord and tenant. If you're in need of legal representation, please give us a call today. The number to call is 718-877-3100. Consultation is free at no cost to you. So call us today to see if we can be of any assistance to your legal needs. Again, the phone number to call us is 718-877-3100.
Yeah, my name is Jacinty Caldata Francis C. Burnham, and since 1965 I become a voter, and I always place my ex next to the cop, and what they are doing today, I can't take it. So I have no more vote to give to PPP anymore. I'm not going to vote anymore no more. If they have to lose by one vote, they're losing it by data. I have none.
All right, good evening. It's 8 minutes after 9 o'clock. My name is Mark Benshap, just rushing into the studio. I was told by our executive producer that you guys are waiting. It's a long line out there, right? And you guys are just waiting. It reminds me of the Tonight Show with Jay Leno. I don't know what Jay Leno is up to these days, but we have our show right here on 107.1 FM. And it is straight up. My name is Mark Benshap. What's on the screen? Let's see here. Deadly school fire casts light on sexual exploitation in Guyana mining town. Now, what's the connection with this, right? This is an article in the, it appeared 2 days ago in the Wall Street Journal. All these international news about Guyana, and it's not looking good. In fact, there should be some more coming out, and some more coming out. Maybe another one in the Wall Street Journal, who knows? Maybe a follow-up in the Reuters, who knows? Maybe something in the Washington Post, who knows? Maybe something in New York Times, who knows? All right, but it wasn't a bad article there in the Reuters report. But what I do know is some people are gossiping amongst them in some chat group. They're saying that they are responsible for that, and they're responsible. I don't know, Guyanese are something else. You'd want to see my face when I actually say that Guyanese are something else. I don't know. Lots of talking indeed. I noticed someone said, lots of talking, time for action. I do agree with that, right? Ramrati Jagdeo. And we have, who else? Lots of you who are watching tonight. Brenda Braithwaite. I see Brenda is dressing up these days. Brenda, looking sharp. Looking sharp, Brenda Braithwaite, or we say in Guyana, Braffit. And Cheryl Pancham celebrated a birth anniversary the other day. I forgot to mention birthday greetings around that time, but let me say belated birthday greetings to Cheryl Pancham from all of us here on 107.1 FM. All right, so I noticed Wayne V. Caesar. We got to ask him what the V stands for, whether it's Versami or Victor or them old time name like Vaughn. Good evening to all of you. Good evening to Wayne Caesar as well, and to every one of you who are watching. Brendan Norton and Ingrid Carter, the regulars, all of the regulars. Eon Winters, all of the regulars. Notice Cheryl Pancham is saying thank you. Of course, you're welcome, Cheryl. A loyal and a faithful listener to 107.1 FM. Thank you all so much. All right, let's get back to, of course, Miss Sukraj. Good evening to you, Nadira. Good evening to you. Desiree Smart Felix and the whole crew. Mavis Wells, sorry. All right, so look at this headline in the Wall Street Journal. Tell me what you think of it, because it's not out of the blue, mind you. It's not out of the blue that the Wall Street Journal is going to come up with an article and the headline that says, deadly, and read between the lines what's happening here. Deadly school fire cast light on sexual exploitation in Guyana mining town. Now, the Wall Street Journal is not going to just talk about sexual exploitation in Guyana mining town and try to link it to the fire. So understand what is happening there, that there is, mind you, there is a high possibility that the fire was deliberately set to cover up some sort of sexual crime that may have been linked to some PPP officials. May have been linked to some PPP officials. But here's where, when we do the math, and if you guys love mathematics like I probably did up until Prep A, you'll understand where I'm coming from, and you'll probably understand where the Wall Street Journal is coming from as well. Now, right after the dorm fire that took the lives of 19 young people, and subsequently, a couple of days after, another one, so in a total of 20, they rushed to charge this little girl. They rushed to charge with 20 counts of murder. Can you believe 20 counts of murder? No proper investigations, nothing at all. But yet they took days to investigate, days to investigate sexual allegations against Dharam Lal. Sexual allegations against Dharam Lal. And on top of that, they said they don't have sufficient whatever. They never have sufficient evidence when it comes to their cronies. When it comes to their lagu bagus, they never have sufficient information. They always want due process, but they do not believe in due process for others, but themselves. That's all. Due process for themselves, because they're the only ones who are entitled to due process. No one else. They're the only ones who are entitled to a thorough investigation, right? No one else, not this little girl. And again, I'm saying there is, and I don't know if you guys sensed something fishy about what really transpired and that led to the fire at that dorm. Could it be? I don't know. I'm just asking a simple question. Could it be? Okay, you guys already know what the question that I want to ask, right? Could it really be? Could it really be? Beryl, tell us, could it really be something that they really want to cover up? Hence, they rushed to charge this little girl 20 counts of murder. 20, not 2, but 20, without any proper investigation. And then when the case is called, guess what the prosecutor and the magistrate, they would say? The prosecutor would say to the court, would say to the magistrate that they are still investigating. And now, how could this be real? When you rush to charge a little girl with 20 counts of murders. 20. And then you're still doing your investigation. They cannot start a preliminary inquiry. Nothing they can start because they charged her. She is in jail or wherever she is, boys' school, girls' school, whatever we call it. It's kind of like a jail confinement without any proper investigations. Now, let's head back to what the Wall Street Journal. Okay, guys, let's head back to the headline of the Wall Street Journal. It says, deadly school fire casts light on sexual exploitation in Guyana mining town. And this is not a coincidence that the Wall Street Journal is going to have such a headline. It tells me that they are on to something. That they are on to something. Thumbs up to the Wall Street Journal. Just like we recently said, thumbs up. Thumbs up. Sorry about that, guys, in case you, a little internet problems in the studio, I assume. And so, thumbs up to the Wall Street Journal. Thumbs up to the Reuters report. And that's not the end of it, I suspect, mind you. There may be more reports coming up against the PPP regime and the corruption in Guyana. I repeat, the corruption in Guyana. Just like the Reuters special report, it looks as though they just want to ensure that this is thrown under the rug. But we do not throw things under the rug here at all. At 107.1 FM, we do not. What is ironic about this whole situation is that I was expecting maybe the shadow minister of Home Affairs for the opposition. Sometimes you guys think that I pick on them. I don't. I like those guys. Most of them, I like them. Yeah. Some of them should not have even been MPs if you ask me. But there should have been there should have been a press conference by the opposition. Well, speaking of press conference, I don't know when was the last time the opposition held a press conference, but that's another story for another time. But I just simply thought that there should have been a press conference by the opposition about this matter, that if a U.S. news agency is saying U.S. probing Exxon contractor in Guyana for smuggling of drugs and gold and whatever else, is that the local law enforcement, well, we can't depend on them because we already know where their loyalty lies, right? Right there. Whoever pays the money. Now, the opposition should have been calling for a thorough, independent investigations into this matter. Not a letter from the Mohammeds to the Commissioner of Police acting. By the way, he is, tomorrow I think he's going to turn 55, but he's still on the job. And Irfan said that he's not sure what's going to happen. But the Mohammeds wrote a letter to the Commissioner of Police or the crime chief sometime a couple months back, asking for a thorough report or investigation. Now, how the hell? Excuse my language, mind you. You know this is a decent program, right? And not so much noise over at this end. But how do these folks, Mohammeds and them, expect people to believe that they are going to write to the acting commissioner of police asking for a thorough investigation into whatever matter and to clear them? What do they expect? They basically gave police officers a heck of a lot of money and also donations in whatever forms. In any other part of the world, it is considered bribery. Bribery. And if the commissioner of police, the acting commissioner of police, is involved with these sort of things, well, maybe foreign law enforcement agencies should take a look at the acting commissioner of police as well. Mind you. All right, so that said, let me just welcome all of you right here again. For those of you who are now joining us, let me welcome you to 107.1 107.1 FM. Welcome. So now look, let's just make this is an announcement. Lincoln Lewis and his crew, you notice Senior Counsel Roysdale Ford is there as well, a guy who's pretty busy these days, underground. Miss Member of Parliament also, Miss Williams, Don Williams, pretty busy underground as well. Kudos to these two, very busy. Don Williams is also the General Secretary of the PNC. Kudos to these two, very busy. They had an event. Well, there's supposed to have been an event over the weekend, as we see the speakers there. Dr. De Silva, Lincoln Lewis, veteran trade unionist, Leland Saul, and MP Ramsroop also. And we see the guy there that jumped to defend the Mohammeds. Ubraj was also scheduled to speak. And so this event is postponed until further notice. So I just thought I'd give them a plug. It is postponed until further notice. Let me welcome all of you to 107.1 FM. My name is Mark Benchap. Don't run, don't get scattery. It's me, mind you. It's me. And no, it's not a birthday. It's nothing. I just decided to just be me, mind you. All right. What else is bothering you? As I look into the comment section, and periodically I will do so, let me just acknowledge all of you collectively, all of you, and welcome you again to 107.1 FM. There's something else I need to address before we move on to some other matters. You take a look at this headline, guys. Take a look. Tell me what you see. Just let's talk. Talk to me. Tell me what you see here. It is straight up, right? And just look at it. Tell me what you see. Tell me exactly what you see. And I know you guys saw me. Don't get all carried away. You know, it's just a new suit. Just decided to doll up tonight. No, I see a couple of you getting really carried away, guys. Don't do it. Calm down. I know how you guys feel. Calm down. It's just a suit. Calm down, guys. Stay focused. All right, so take a look at this headline. If you're not seeing it properly, it says here, it's a Kenneth Ridgeock's financial crime blog. It's a financial crime blog. It says here, money laundering, terrorist financing, and financial crime. Victims of massive, and this was a Tuesday, July 18, 2023 report by Kenneth Ridgeock's financial crime blog. It says here, and this is just a report, mind you. Don't run away. I don't want Maya Motley to be watching and then yell at me. Hey, Mark, what nonsense you talking about, God blind you? You can't come back to Barbados, you know. I'll throw you in a pen. But the headline here is saying, sorry about that, guy. That's just Maya Motley's voice. I may not have done a good impersonation. So please do accept my apologies. So it says here, victims of massive probate and real estate fraud in Barbados, sue 93, allegedly corrupt lawyers, including Prime Minister, including Prime Minister Motley. Let me read this headline again. Victims of massive probate and real estate fraud in Barbados, sue 93, allegedly corrupt lawyers, including, sorry again, I sound like Maya Man, including Prime Minister Maya Motley. Again, that's all I wish to say. This is a blog. It was brought to my attention by a non-Guineas, and I decided to share it with you guys. That's all. I know recently Jermaine Figueroa, Member of Parliament Jermaine Figueroa, met with her and he shook her hand and he was all happy and every single thing. You go with your bad self there, Honorable MP. But look at what we're seeing. Let me just repeat before we move on, right? Victims of massive probate and real estate fraud in Barbados, sue 93, allegedly corrupt lawyers, including Prime Minister my motley. That's all I wish to say at this time. I'm not making mockery of anything. I'm not making mockery of anyone. I'm just reading the article. Go blowing, right? I'm just reading the article. That's all. And there may be a follow up. I don't know. I'll possibly get to that follow up. But that's just what's happening in Barbados. That's what's happening in Barbados. In my motley. I know if my Motley gets a hold of me right now, I ring that boy. The shop don't know me, you know. I personally drag you to Barbados. Good evening to all of you. I guess it's politics, right? I guess that's what it's about. That's what it's about. And when Maya was in Guyana, oh gosh, you swear to God, she was the best, and there must be democracy. And we all feel quite cool. I don't know. Sorry about that, man. I have a lot of Bajan friends. They're nice people, don't get me wrong. But then again, I don't know. Politics, right? Politics. I love Barbados. I love the beach. I was in Barbados a couple years back, and I jumped in a bus. And I drove in that bus for about 20 minutes. And that was the end. I see all of Barbados in one little bus in 20 minutes. But then again, I love Barbados. Y'all don't get me wrong. Y'all don't, for crying out loud. Maya Motley, again, the headline says, victims of massive probate and real estate fraud in Barbados sue 93 allegedly corrupt lawyers, including Prime Minister Maya Motley. Including Prime Minister Maya Motley. Corruption, according to the blog there, nobody here is accusing anybody of anything. Absolutely not. But what are some of the other things happening in Guyana? Let me say to you guys, Emancipation Day is right around the corner. Right around the corner, as we say in Guyana. You take a drive and you swing right around the corner. It's Emancipation celebration. Not a single thing from the regime, not a single plan from the regime, not a single talk about what they're going to do. But a couple of days ago, Irfan Ali met with some so-called individuals who do not represent the interest of African Guyanese. One Rastama who's begging them for a photograph and so forth. He was seen hugging up and chatting and rubbing Irfan Ali's belly because that's all they can do. Massa, you're looking good. That is all. And that is the only representation of African Guyanese by the PPP regime. Nothing at all. Today happens to be the 24th day. A couple days from now is Emancipation Day. And then the folks are going to jump at the national park. They're going to deck out in their whatever, the dashiki and whatever else. And it seems as though the celebration of emancipation and being proud of who we are as African people. Yes, we are. No matter your complexion and a little curly hair and you're still African. Because some of them love to holler because they're a little mixing again. You are African. Ask Mariah Carey and them. Mariah Carey's mom is from Ireland. The father is from, I think, American. And and she says in America she's a black woman. But who could look more mixed than Mariah Carey? And Mariah Carey considers herself an African American woman. But in Guyana songs you get little chukulooks. Just like that, you're mixed and you're this and you try to sub. No, you are black. I even have a lot of Indian relatives and friends in the US. They are African American. They are black. I don't know how I get to that. But let's get back to emancipation. Nothing at all. Irfan Ali, shame on you. Nothing at all about preparing for Emancipation Day celebration. But what should we really do? What is there to celebrate? Have we really been emancipated? And if so, by whom and when? And where is the real evidence of our emancipation, especially in Guyana? Can somebody show me where the real evidence is? Are we emancipated when you have a bunch of thugs in the Guyana police force, political thugs that is? And this is not to say that we don't have decent men and women in the Guyana police force. Of course we do. But we're talking about the PPP using these individuals, and many of whom are, as you can see, right? Because it was Takuma Ogunsi who said exactly this, that the police, the PPP, is using mainly folks within the GDF, the Guyana Police Force, and so forth to go out and do their dirty political works. But after Brother Takuma Ogunsi said that and they charged him and so forth, I hope Brother Tagunsi is okay. I've been seeing or hearing much from him or about him these days. But let us hope that Brother Takuma Ogunse is okay. Let us hope that that is the case, right? And so what else? What else is there we can talk about emancipation? There's nothing. What are we celebrating? Billions of dollars. Billions of dollars. Billions of dollars. Billions of dollars, sorry, being shipped out of Guyana. Shipped out of Guyana. What is there that the Guyanese people are getting? How is it that we're not hearing that Exxon is going to give, let us say, 100 scholarships? 100 scholarships, even to attend UG or maybe some university to study oil and gas or whatever. Give out 100 scholarships. They can afford that. We saw the other day that 50 million US dollars, if the report is accurate, 50 million US dollars is spent in less than a month or so for just personal expenses and so forth. Who do you think got to pay for that 50 million US dollars? Who do you guys think have to pay for that? You, the taxpayers. All of you have to pay for that. All of you. Every single one of you. But we're not going to hear these companies, whether the Chinese companies and so forth. The Chinese companies don't really give back nothing. But when they give back, if they give back $1, they got to take back $2,000. And so they seldomly do give donations and so forth. But we see them giving a little, they might rush up to Linden and give the hospital some equipment or Georgetown. But they take back, they get more back from the Guyanese taxpayers. But are they doing anything for emancipation? Do we hear them giving out some scholarships? Forget about giving little food and little drinks and things. What about some scholarships? Why can't these big companies getting billions of dollars from taxpayers? Where are they in terms of giving back? To just give a little donation, a little couple balls, a little couple bats, and so forth, whether in Linden or wherever, is insufficient. But nobody's going to want to speak out because they have some folks who are comfortable with getting insufficient funds, getting a little football, a little basketball, and they're comfortable with that. But a billion-dollar entity like Exxon and all of the Chinese companies that getting all these bids, suddenly the Chinese and the Guyana government, they're good friends, right? And now, I'm not saying I don't have anything against the Chinese. I actually don't, guys. Come on. I don't have anything against them. But you've got to watch that closeness between Jagdeo and the Chinese. And during a conversation earlier today, I said, look, Jagdeo, it is said that Jagdeo has a fat bank account in Beijing. A fat bank account. Fat bank account. The allegations are. He said that they investigated him once and they didn't find anything. But that is not true. That is not true. Who said that they investigated him and didn't find anything? And the next question is, who investigated him and didn't find anything? That's all. Who? Can Jagdev say who investigated him about that Chinese bank account? The fact of the matter is, I would love for Jagdev to say who investigated him. And I would love to hear Jagdev subject himself for, a lie detector test on whether he has a big fat bank account in China. So if he has a big fat bank account in China, he's got to give the stuff over to the Chinese company. All of the bids they're going to get. And Chinese companies, we're told, are more, quick in order giving a little nice big gifts. And you know what I mean by big gifts, as compared to the Americans and others. They They seldomly would give gifts, which is considered kickbacks and so forth and so on. Now, I just got an article. Well, yeah, the a diamond businessman wife robbed of $6 million, $6 million Guyana dollars. Wang Wei, a 32-year-old Chinese businessman of Diamond Public Road, East Bank, Demerara, and his 31-year-old wife were held at gunpoint. Police headquarters reported that the businessman was robbed of $6 million by three men, armed with handguns. Two of the men ski masks. Yeah. So the businessman told police officers that he closed the store at 20 hours. At 8 o'clock, the cash was taken into the businessman's bedroom in a black half a sock and so forth. And they went on and went on. I hope that we can see that story in the Village Voice News, the Village Voice News. So that's what's happening. Emancipation, right? Emancipation. I noticed a comment from a George Tanner, who said that so-called Rasta man who was rubbing Irfan Ali's belly, pretending to be a representative of African Guineas, is not a Rastafari. He doesn't represent Rasta. Good point, George Tanner. Good point indeed. Somebody's asking me, Eon Harry, I don't know if I have a crystal ball in my hand, that you guys expect me to answer all these questions, right? Eon Harry is asking me, where is Sue? What can I tell you? I don't know where Sue is. Jack Dare should be answering that question. And our reporters, Eon Harry, mind you, our reporters or the reporters in Guyana should be, those reporters in Guyana should be asking Jack Dare whenever he holds those long, dumb, you know what, sort of press conferences. Ask him, what about the investigations into Sue? What about him subjecting himself to an investigation? He has promised that. Did he evict Sue? Is the immigration record would indicate that Sue has left the country? Wouldn't we know all of these things? Or did they just mend things and Sue is at the Chinese embassy running things like nothing has really happened? But let me show you guys this. Let me say this to you guys. Do not be fooled. Again, do not be fooled. Jack Dave's call to lock up Sue or to investigate Sue was just a bluff, because Sue can very well be an agent of the Chinese Communist Party. And once that is the case, believe you me, Jack Dave or no one in Guyana under the PPP regime could put their hands on Sue. It was a bluff. Do you guys think that just an ordinary little Chinese guy like Sue could come to Guyana and get all those concessions? All of those concessions just like that? Just like that? Ni hao ma, right? Just like that, guys? Think it's about time you guys start put on your thinking cap, my friends, to understand how the PPP is selling Guyana out. And just like they're now demanding that Spanish be taught in the schools and buenas noches and all kind of things, como estás, bien gracias, y todo, muy bonita, me gusta tu madre. I'm sorry, whoever speaks Spanish will probably understand me gusta tu madre, right? Sorry, take that back. Take that back, guys. Please do. Done best, right? Now, it's not just a coincidence that they will get up one morning just like that. Irfan Ali got up and say he wants Spanish all from primary school. Spanish has always been a subject that was taught in school, but the PPP actually took that away. They didn't pay much attention to that. So now they've restarted it. So it's nothing new. Absolutely nothing new. I remember as little boys in the village under quarantine, we were speaking Spanish. We even turned Spanish around and made our own language. So what Irfan Ali should be doing is teaching, let people in Guyana, other than English, to speak our second language, which is Gibberish. And you guys understand Gibberish, right? You guys know Gibberish. Were I to start the show, I'll be Gobodi Bevan. Sorry about that. You guys know Gibberish. The younger folks, I wonder if they know Gibberish. Ebe, habo abar yubutubo debe. maybe gabon tabak about jabag debe aban debis kabar rabab pb people. How many of you guys Irfan Ali doesn't even know to speak English. He doesn't even know to speak. And then sabada ben libi hibi waban sabas tabo tabaks paban nibish. Hibi kaban hibi wabun tabak ibn libish himself. But what about hibi waban sabas tabo? Wow, I sound like an expert. That was fun for us, and we thought that was Spanish. So when we went into villages and so forth, we were speaking this. Ebe, Gabor, mibi labaik yubu labaik mibi, kobom, gibib mibi abak kubik kibis, nubu babadi bi abawabach. Right? And so even in Dolly House, we used to speak gibberish. What is it, gibberish? I remember I once said, Ebe Gabor, mibi labaik yubu mabad abad nabat hobon, kobom, gibib mibi abak kibis, nabam. Please, kobom, gibib mibi abak kibis. Nabapod pabon de chibik. Right? And so that is what Irfan Ali and these guys, wow, sound like an expert. I didn't do that in a while. But growing up, we really thought that was Spanish, but it was gibberish. It was gibberish. And if Irfan Ali is serious, then he should let gibberish becomes a second language in Guyana, right? DBs, PB, pabo. Abar, abab, babon, chabo. Trebench krabapabo. Debem tibik kabab magur nabab bibi nabab. Anyways, guys, how are you guys doing this evening? It's not gibberish. And so the next they're going to demand is Chinese, Chinese language. And then they're going to go to, from Chinese, maybe we got to learn Hindi. Aapke naam kya hai bhai? And then, well, Irfan can't even speak Hindi. Other than namaste, namaskar, I don't know. Maybe we can, ask him to just say something in Hindi quickly. Papa kita pada naam karega, beta hamara hamas haisa kaam karega, but magaraye to kohi na jane he mere manzil haisa pyar, right? Aapke naam kya hai bhai? Matum se mahobat, right? Matum se mahobat. Let me see how many of you guys know matum se mahobat. Matum se mahobat, right? Oh gosh, it's cold in the studio here tonight. These lagu bagus in the PPP, but Spanish. The man can't even speak proper English. He talking about Spanish now. Hey, talking about Sue, let's remind people. We got to keep reminding people because the Chinese still do not trust Jagdeo and the PPP. They know that Jagdeo and the PPP, they could make money and they can corrupt the entire system. Not all Chinese businesses do that, mind you. I don't want to paint everyone with that same brush. But under the PPPC, there's more corruption, and Chinese people are afraid of the PPP because the PPP do a lot of dirty things, and we can't blame the Chinese brothers and sisters for that, right? Listen to this.
Mr. Mark, I believe every word of what Mr. Shu is saying. I am also afraid of Mr. Shu. Mr. Shu, if you are listening, I don't want anybody to harm you. This is a serious thing. Corruption is big. And we Chinese have to stop that. Been bullied by Jagdeo and other government official to pay bribe. It's big all over Guyana. A Chinese to pay by bribe. Mr. Shu, I hope you to stay strong. Do not. We respect and salute you for your bravery, for coming up and speak against corruption in Guyana. Thank you, Mr. Shu. We appreciate you, Mr. Mark. 马克，我相信每一句苏先生说的话。我现在很担心苏先生。苏先生，如果你在听我说话，我不想任何人威胁你。圭亚那政府腐败很严重，这个是很严重的事情。我们中国人必须停止被那些 政府用武力行贿。苏先生，我希望你能继续你的发表，也希望你在新的一年万事如意。
Don't forget these individuals out in Linden, right? Mind you, the PPP has done with their attempt to capture African Guyanese and sweet talk them into voting in this just concluded local government elections. And they're quiet. The PPP is no longer concerned about African Guyanese. And that's the evidence that we're seeing. They're no longer rushing into predominantly African Guyanese communities to buy them out with little sweet rice, little chow mein, little cook-up money, and so forth. None of that little black pudding money, little mitai money. They don't care any longer. But we saw how they rushed into these communities in the course of the local government elections, right? Even these guys are crying out today that the PPP doesn't care about them. You go around by Mackenzie Market, that is what these guys are doing. They are crying out, they're saying that they regret ever standing up. And look, these same guys, you know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, this is the elite team. The root team. Strong team.
Number one.
PPP team. Yeah. Yeah, some PPP.
You wouldn't believe me, right? I'm saying to you that these guys are crying out. These guys are starving right now. They're complaining that even the PPP that went in there and attempted to brainwash them and get through to some point, that they have regretted. They now regret every single thing. And they're crying. And I'm saying to some of my friends and relatives out in Linden, if ever and whenever you see these guys, please do give them a box of white rice or plain rice with wild Edo leaf. Make sure to get a little piece of meat on it. We can't just discard them just like that. We got to bring them back to reality. Give them a box of wild Edo leaf, with plain rice. Give them something to eat.
Yeah, this is the elite team. The root team. Strong team.
Number one.
PPP team. Yeah. Yeah, some PPP all the way. Yeah, one Guyana. Yes.
Seriously, just imagine the three of them, the Stammer crew, speaking gibberish. I saw somebody corrected me as gibberish. Come on, Socrates. Yeah, just imagine them speaking gibberish. Just imagine. And I'm not laughing at people who think, but just imagine these guys speaking gibberish.
Yeah, this is the elite team. The root team.
About them, just they just wasted their votes, and we know that they were used by the PPP regime. Now let's get back to Emancipation. Emancipation Day is August 1st. Not a word, my friends, not a word from the PPP regime about emancipation. Absolutely nothing. Is this how they care? Do you think if it was Pagwa that we would have been hearing and we would have been seeing a bunch of full-page ads in the newspapers about Pagwa Day celebration, float parade, all manner of things. And then the Indian organizations would have gotten millions upon millions of dollars, taxpayers' monies for that event. And even Diwali float parade. Now, these things are good. Mind you, don't get me wrong, because it was under Burnham that these holidays were created. The same Burnham they don't like. When they celebrate, not all our Indian brothers and sisters, I don't paint everybody with the same brush. But when these vagabonds who love to cuss Burnham and black people, when they celebrate Pagwa and Diwali, they must thank Burnham and the PNC for that. Because when the PPP was in office, they never thought of that. Holidays and so forth. They didn't give a damn about those things. But thanks to the wisdom of Forbes Burnham, the same man that they like to cuss and say, Banflower, Burnham, they used to call him Burnham. that Burnham banned flour and that he was a racist? How could these guys, a lot of them don't think for themselves. How could you call Burnham a racist when under Pops Burnham, holidays such as Pagwa, Diwali, and Idul Aman, I believe, Hindu, Muslim holidays, and so forth, all of these things under Burnham, Pagwa. So much so that whenever there's Pagwa, everybody celebrates. I celebrate Pagwa. I love Pagwa. Holy hey, holy kalela kobida kowatame, holy kalela kobida. Right? We all love Pagwa. We all love it. If you love Indian movies from the movie Silsila, you know Amitabh Bachchan, Hare Longai La Chica, by Longai La Chica. All of these holidays were created under Pops Burnham. And then they jumped up and they love to talk. I don't know Burnham, our racist. Burnham ban flour. I been a get roti for eat no more. I been a get roti. He take me a split peas. I been a get dal no more. I been a get dal. I been a get roti. Burnham, our racist. But the reality is, flour was never banned. It was restricted. Now, even if flour was restricted, was it specifically targeting against any particular ethnic group in Guyana? Only a dummy would think so. Now, flour doesn't make just roti alone. Split peas now make dal alone. Flour does make bread, does make bake, does make that thing. I like this thing in soup, man. What do you call it? Dumpling or something else they call it, man. All these things, flour. What about split peas? Split peas does make chana. Split peas does make chana cook up. You know, we love a chana cook up. People who say we love cook up. We love not just split peas cook up or black eye. We love a split peas cook up too. And the point is not just one specific ethnic group that eat flour in Guyana. So how could they be so unfair to say Burnham ban flour? And because Burnham ban flour, he not like Abi. He not like Abi. Now, how ridiculous. Somebody said duff. Thank you so much. You guys are saying duff. I love that. I don't know when was the last time I had it. If you guys are good at cooking that, let me know. Invite me. I do go by people's homes, right? Just invite me. Duff and dumpling or whatever you call it. So the point is, how could Burnham have been a racist for flour restriction at a time that was crucial and say ban flour just to target our Indian brothers and sisters when a lot of them going to die when they hear this, you know, that Chedi Jagan supported the restriction of flour. Chedi Jagan, I repeat, supported it because at that time, these sort of things, Chedi offered the PNC and Burnham critical support. But they're not going to blame Chedi and say Chedi ban flour. They're not going to do it. I just wish the PNC could do more to have proper literatures out there about Pops Burnham. Now, he wasn't perfect, but the man was darn good. He had a vision for Guyana and a vision for all Guyanese under our motto. One people, one nation, one day. That's Pops Burnham. Imagine, I don't want to repeat just imagine they calling Burnham a racist and Burnham made Pagwa, Diwali, and so forth national holidays in Guyana. Everybody got a holiday in Guyana. Now, if Burnham was a racist, he probably would have said, no, it's an English-speaking country. I mean, I want no Pagwa and this. He would have, but he didn't. He believes in one people, one nation, one destiny. Everybody got to celebrate something. Everybody got to be proud of who they are, their ancestors, their cultures, and so everyone. And that was Burnham. Racists don't do those sort of things. They don't. Burnham was a... Give me a break. I'm checking some of your comments. Give me a break, guys. Morris Sukraj is saying here, Burnham, Jagan also supported nationalization of the sugar and bauxite industries. Morris knows his history. Morris knows his history. Let me see what... Morgan is saying here, all of Crabwood Creek, one word, but that's okay. We're not here to correct people or laugh. And do forgive me, Morgan. But all of Crabwood Creek got rich, the restriction of imported items. That is so true. That is so true. Everybody got rich. And I guess some people would wish that the restriction of some items could continue. And at that time, I even had some relatives who used to go over Suriname and come back with a little aloo, the little flour, and everybody got rich. Everyone got rich. So it wasn't that Burnham was targeting any particular group. Oh, man. Y'all must give Burnham a little break sometimes. Well, his kids them are very quiet. The Burnham Foundation, I don't know what's going on with that. But many months ago, I suggested to the leader of the opposition, Mr. Norton, that they should have a presidential library at Congress Place, where you can go there and you can have reading materials and audio and video stuff about Burnham, about Desmond Hoyt, and about David Granger and other leaders of the party right there. So our young people could go in there and they could have these things, have chess competition, call it Burnham chess competition throughout the country. Get these sort of things. You don't just pop in for just a quick photo op like one umbrella guy talking about he likes chess and no, it must be consistent, mind you. But then again, when we talk, they say, oh, Ben Chap, you attack on Ben Chap. Well, you don't like this body. You don't like. So you know what I'm going to do? One night I'm going to come with just a duct tape around my mouth with nothing to say. Absolutely nothing to say. Because some of y'all get a little too sensitive when we talk about y'all PNC. Y'all just get vexed. Like some of y'all bumps. All right. Now y'all don't have bumps. But some of y'all get very, very touchy. Like, for example, if I'm going to say now, and I don't really want to say it, but most of the MPs gone back in their shells. We don't hear from them. We don't see them. We don't see them taking out selfies. What's going on? We see a few of them, and that's why I got to give Don Hastings Williams kudos to Don. Don is out there. Kudos to you, Honorable MP. Kudos. We see Roysdale Ford, Senior Counsel. What else is Roysdale? Senior Counsel, he's MP as well. We see them out there. But I'm not going to say anything else because some of y'all bumps raise. Some of y'all bumps raise. Thank you, Kirk Fraser. Isn't Kirk Fraser the deputy mayor of New Amsterdam taking time out to watch this show? Here's what I like about Kirk. Kirk is a roots guy, and I love politicians who are roots people. We got to invite the Honorable Deputy Mayor one day on this program to talk about their plans, along with His Worship, the Mayor of New Amsterdam as well, to talk about their plans for New Amsterdam. We got to get them back. We got to get them. We need to. We carry them on the campaign. We need to find out some of their vision and plans for the town of New Amsterdam. I just love New Amsterdam. Special reason I love New Amsterdam, Barbados High School, Malti. Oh gosh, young days. Oh gosh, sorry about that, guys. I got a bit carried away. But Mr. Fraser, can you say whether you guys found this ceremonial chain and whatever happened to that? We're hearing that the PPP guys stole it. We don't know how accurate that is, but Mr. Kirk Fraser, Deputy Mayor of New Amsterdam, is with us. The Deputy Mayor of New Amsterdam is with us in the comment section, mind you. So I just thought I acknowledge the Honorable Deputy Mayor, the Honorable Deputy Mayor, Kirk Fraser. Good evening. Good evening to you, sir. Good evening. So let us see. Wayne Caesar is saying here, Wayne, we got to make some T-shirts with PPPC. Your time is up. Of course, PPPC, your time is up. Air Finale, your time is up. Hey, and guess who else got to go? It's 10 o'clock, right? Don't you guys think I have a life as well? Don't you guys think I want to do other things too? Of course I want to do other things. What else is it that we can talk about? Because tomorrow we'll have a guest on. I'm not sure. We'll have a guest, and if Mr. Caesar is available. He's always available, right? He'll be with me tomorrow to ask some questions or a guest. But is there anything else you guys want me to cover before I go? Because I've got to go somewhere. What else you guys want me to talk about before I go? Something else. Just let me know what else you guys want me to talk about, and I'll just do that just before we go. I see Morna, Grandma Morna. Morna, Grandma Morna is saying here, we must remind them that Jagdir had a scholarship under Burnham. That is correct. He went to Russia, Lumumba University, did all sort of things there. All sort of things. So if you go up to Jagdir and say, Privet Kagdila, he speaks Russian. But just ensure that you pronounce the words properly, because he may very well interpret it to be something else. When you say Privet, Kagdila, right? He might look at you like, oh, really? Privet Kagdila, right? And so after, and this is to show you the same Burnham that they're saying was vindictive and he this and he that, the same Burnham ensured that Jagdir got a scholarship to Russia. Jagdir got that scholarship to Russia. If Burnham was so vindictive, he would have said, nah. But a lot of the PPP guys, them got scholarship under Burnham's government to go to places and study. Lots of them, not too many of them returned anyways, but lots of them got scholarships under the same Burnham they discuss. Under the same Burnham they love to cuss. Burnham was concerned about the development of Guyana. He didn't discriminate and look at ethnicity and these sort of things. He didn't do that. Burnham was for all Guyanese. Unlike these Pakus, these Lagu-Bagus who are in office right now, they didn't give a damn. They just didn't give a damn. And so when Jagdir went off to Russia, well, of course, did a lot of things in Russia, right? Lots of things he did in Russia. So when he got back to Guyana, the PNC didn't discriminate against him. He worked under the PNC. They didn't tell him, no job is not available, because the PNC was not a petty, Burnham was not a petty man. He was not petty. Desmond Hoyt was not petty. Jagdir was petty. As soon as Jagan got in there, all of the Foreign Service people with black names and blacks and things were removed. All of them. Even Aubrey Norton had a little hold on in the UK. He and all. The GBC reporters, all of them, and you ask them. The officials at GBC, like Margaret Lawrence, and you name them, sent packing. Pack up and go. That's not how you run a country. Certainly it's not. And then when David Granger got in, the soldier guys, they marched into town. Not for you, we couldn't talk about the soldier boys, then y'all want bust we had for them, right? You know what I mean? All of y'all, some of y'all out there. And so when the soldier boys that got into town, they did what Desmond Hoy didn't discriminate. Burnham didn't discriminate. But what David Granger and others did, they allowed everybody to stay around. Most of them were allowed. Sorry. His Excellency David Arthur Granger. My apologies, sir. You might be watching. My apology. Mark, you're being naughty, right? So a lot of these PPP lagoos were about, they stayed on. And when I say PPP lagoos, it's just not about ethnicity too, right? But yeah, I know what I'm talking about. But David Granger didn't want to send or fire anybody and all these sort of things. And, it just didn't. He didn't. He wasn't that kind of a guy to fire everybody. But the thing is, when the PPP got in, look what the PPP did. Right off the bat, over 3,000 workers, civil servants they fired. And majority of them are, you know what kind of people, right? Sorry that I did my hands like that. I don't usually do my hands like that, right? But over 3,000, mainly African guineas, were fired right out the bat. The PPP don't make joke for being vindictive and cruel, you know. They are a cruel bunch of people in the PPP. They don't give a damn about human beings. They don't even give a damn about their own support base. Go to Port Morat right now and find out how. Ask Dinesh Jaiprasad, the MP, who is missing in action for skites. He's a friend, but he's missing in action. But ask him about Port Morat. They don't do the streets. They don't do nothing in Port Morat. Absolutely nothing they don't do. Go Blackbush, Poland now and hear what them rice farmers are talking by. Go Kilmarnock. Go Maida. Go all those villages and ask what's going on. They will tell you. There's really nothing. There's no development. There's no jobs. There is nothing. Absolutely nothing. Only them big wigs in the PPP, them a get rich, them a get rich and rich. Go to Bloomfield where the Minister of Agriculture, Zulfikar Mustafa, go see where he lives. Suddenly they become rich and them expand and them do gate, them get security, then get security for even guard them latrine. Them get security even for guard them dogs. Oh, gosh. But then again, you know, you have a nice opposition for the most part. They've been silent for 2 weeks. Been hearing no press conference, no nothing. Oh, gosh. But then again, I didn't mean to say that tonight because whenever you talk, they get vexed, right? They get angry. They say, Mark not like them, Mark not this, Mark not that. All manner of things about poor Mark. Poor Mark. But look at the headline in tonight's program, right? What about emancipation? If the PPP isn't doing anything about emancipation, what about the opposition? Is there a plan? Should they just get a couple of tents at Congress Place and cook little fufu, make little metanji, and all these sorts of things? Right there, celebrate it at Congress Place. Who want to go National Park, and so forth. Do it. Let's hear about the African groups around the country. Leeds Village, Kildonan, Linden, wherever it is. If you're having, thank you, somebody said conky. I haven't had conky in a while. You guys going to make my mouth run water here tonight. Gosh, Mr. Caesar, Wayne Caesar is asking where is Dinesh. I don't know where Dinesh is. If anybody finds Dinesh and tell him that I'm looking for him here, they get a pack of conky from me. All these things. Look, if they have any African organization in Guyana that have celebration coming up for the Emancipation Day, we will run your ads for free. Get in touch with myself or Wayne Caesar. Inbox Wayne. Tell Wayne such and such that you're an organization on the ground. We'll carry it free for you. But don't tell us no bubble session, no wind up, no skin up, no backball session. We're not going to promote that. I like it. Don't get me wrong. But I don't think emancipation is for them bubble session kind of thing. So we're not going to promote bubble session for emancipation. Don't get me wrong. I'm not knocking backball and thing. Right? Come on, it's Mark, right? But those of you who have Emancipation Day celebration, whether Rhonda Lane, whether Denham still has something, we'd love to carry it for you guys, right? We'll carry it free. Just come right here. Get in touch with Wayne Caesar and tell him, give him the information. If you have flyers, we would love to carry it for you guys. We will carry it for free right here on 107.1 FM. As you prepare to go to bed tonight, ask yourself this question. What about emancipation? Nothing from the PPPC. Absolutely nothing from the PPPC. Aliyah Waldron, stop it. Thank you. Stop it. Right? Good. And I really understand what I mean by done. It's done. It's finished. Thank you. But let us see here. Rhonda Lane says she's going to inbox tomorrow. Feel free, inbox us, guys. We're here to help each other. All right? Let me see some of the African dishes that you guys know about. I see conky. So is what conky? Is conky, yeah. I know about fufu. What else? MetMG, Kanki MetMG, two power food. Oh yeah. Tony Hack, you know what's going on, man. You know what's going on. You know what's going on. All right? You know what's going on. Let me see. Name some of the, let's focus, guys, on African dishes. Let's focus on what we're supposed to focus on. Somebody said cuckoo. What's cuckoo? What's that? Please. Pone, boil and fry. You name it. What's cuckoo? Pepper pot is not an African dish, not as far as I'm aware. I thought it's an Amerindian. Fish broth. Oh, gosh. Sorry about that. I get carried away when I say fish broth because I heard some folks, big boys in the village, used to talk about that. Flying fish. Cook up. Yeah. Black pudding. Talk a little more. Cocoa pone, MetMG. Oh, yeah. Now you guys talking. Shine. Guys, you get all sorts of people. Shine rice now. Yeah. Shine rice. You name it. All these things. Is there going to be a big Emancipation Day celebration in New York or Atlanta? Isn't it time that we start these things as well? Usually we jump up off the top of our head and we just call something celebration for something in Brooklyn, and you didn't even understand what you're really celebrating. But if you tell me that somebody starts up an Emancipation Day celebration at Prospect Park, I'm giving people some ideas, mind you, right? At Prospect Park, or somewhere in Atlanta, or somewhere, wherever, guy, need to start up something Emancipation Day. So you dress up, let the little kids put on their dashiki, their African stuff, clothing, and they go around and feel proud. Play the African drums and music and feel proud. So that our little African brothers and little African kids can be singing too, just like we have a bunch of us running around Guyana singing, don't pass it, you must get to me the sapiniki Nothing's wrong with that. A lot of little kids, all them kids in Guyana know Kuch Kuch Hota Hai. And those of you who are from the old school like me know Kabhi Kabhi Main Pale meri kahani hai, pale meri hasti hai, pale meri jawani hai. All of that we know, right? Well, how many of you out there could sing an African song? How many of you? Going once, going twice. How many of you could say anything in some sort of African language? How many of you? Going once, going twice, going once, going twice, but all over Guyana at one time, Kuch Kuch Hota Hai was the national anthem. Kuch Kuch Hota Hai, Kuch Kuch Hota Hai. Or whenever we're in a rum shop and you hear, Kabhi Kabhi Mere Dil Mein, right? I'll just start crying because Kabhi Kabhi is really Kabhi Kabhi, Kabhi Kabhi. Sorry, a song like Amita, Kabhi Kabhi, right? But you guys might think this is just humor. It's not humor, it's reality. All over the village, everybody know. We used to listen to Radio Rani. And you know everything in Hindi, all the Indian songs. From all of the movies, Hum Kisi Ke Kam Nahi, Kya Hua, Tera Wada, Wo Kasam, Wo Yara, all kind of thing. You see Pandit, pass your respect, Pandit Ji, Namaste, Namaskar, bye. And you know the Hindi prayer, Tumewa Mata, Chapita, Tumewa Bandhu, you know, Swaha. We accept all of those things, which is good, which is right. How many of us understand our African culture? How many of us try to embrace that? Because from a little kid, we were taught that when you see a man walk in the village with African outfit, is a Obia man, is something that's bad. Ooh, Obia man, that man a Obia man. A lady walk with something wrap up on shit, oh, she a Obia lady. And that Obia man. But we accept Pandits, we accept Meiji, we accept everything else. But we don't accept we own. Them a obia, them a bad, them a this, them a that. The lady like she'll come tonight and suck you. So therefore, to prevent you from coming and suck your blood, like you got throw rice grain by the door. So she got count all the rice grain and she gonna be distracted and she gonna forget and she gonna start count again. And so by time tomorrow morning when we catch you, guess is who is all like in the village, Brenda or Renee. We catch them when we start beat them with broom. I'm not saying anybody here, Renee is Oleg or Brenda or anybody else, or Cheryl or Michelle Lam, right? I'm not saying that. I'm just saying how we are as a people. And we've got to wake up, guys. We've got to wake up. Everybody else we want to embrace. Look at when their Culture Day going on in school. Culture Day. Culture Day. How many of our young African kids or even our East Indian kids or the Chinese kids or Portuguese kids dress in their African attire? Nobody not care about that. But we want dress, we want Chinese because we get a little Chinese and we get a little Indian and so forth. It's good to show appreciation. Do not get me wrong. But we got to reciprocate. They don't have that in Guyana. And whenever young Africans or Africans embrace other cultures like Indian culture and so forth, oh, we love that. That is all about unity. That is what we want. When an African guy or girl sing an Indian song, it is good. We love that. It is unity. It is unity. But what about the other way around? I'd love to see at the national park hundreds or probably thousands of our Indian brothers and sisters celebrating, not just at the national park, but even in the villages, to wear some sort of African outfit. Can you do that? Do that and send the pictures to me. We will carry it. Embrace each other's culture. Do not let it be a one-sided affair. Do not let it be a one-sided affair, guys. Let me go. I just see a couple of y'all there. I'll put little rice grain. I'll catch some of y'all tonight and catch Pre tonight and catch Alia Waldron tonight. Well, you put rice grain to catch all like. Don't misinterpret when I say I'll catch them tonight, all right? My name is Mark Bensharp. Somebody say, Brenda's saying cassava. Bernadette is saying cassava pone. Yeah, cassava pone. But before we go, watch out this Emancipation Day will happen. What about all the radio stations and things in Guyana? They play a little African songs. They can play one to them for a couple of minutes and that's it. I bet many of you don't remember Music Africa. Music Africa. Y'all remember Music Africa, right? I'll read some of your comments and let me see how many of you guys remember Music Africa. How many? While you take that information down, and those of you who have immigration situation that you may want rendered, give me a call. How many of you, I'm still looking at it, how many of you remember that? How many of you remember that? I'm looking. How many of you remember that? Please let us know. Waiting. Music Africa was basically to introduce to Guyana the modern version of African music, to get the attention of our young people. That is what it was about, to get the attention of young Guyanese, nothing else. And to some extent, we were able to get the attention of young African Guyanese. We were able to do that. And so, I don't know if you guys know this one here.
Habaki mondongo, mwana mabali ko. Habaki mondongo, mwana mabali. Abaki Mondongo, Mwana Mabaliko, Abaki Mondongo. Tango na money na dango. Kitako na yeme committee.
That is what we need throughout Emancipation Week and so forth. We must be able, guys, come on. We must be able to embrace everyone's culture. And I want our Indian brothers and sisters out there, our Chinese brothers and sisters, our Portuguese and so forth, to embrace the African culture as well. Show some respect for it. Emancipation Day around the corner. Show some respect for it, please. I've got to go, but my name is Mark Benshop. I'll be back tomorrow. Thank you, guys. You guys remember that, right? Music Africa. Music Africa. Don't be fooled. We'll be back tomorrow. Thank you all so much. I've got to go. And again, don't forget, if you, whatever immigration problems you may have, give me a call and we'll talk it over. Don't give up. Don't give up, whether it's asylum, whatever it is, just give me a ring. Give me a ring. Lots of asylum going on. A lot of people feel discriminated in Guyana. And at one point in Canada, a lot of folks ran to Canada and they got asylum and so forth. We're seeing it now. Lots of people are being discriminated in Guyana for good reasons. Good reasons. Discriminated, persecuted. Good reasons, my friend. I've got to go. See you tomorrow. Same place, same time, right here. And we'll have Caesar with us and we'll have another guest. But for now, let me go put my rice grains at the doorstep. Hope I don't catch any of the olags. Love you guys. God bless.
So, this is attorney Shellen Washington, owner and founder of the Washington Law Firm, located at 455 Utica Avenue in Brooklyn, New York. We're specialized in medical malpractice, personal injuries, matrimonial law, and landlord and tenant. If you're in need of legal representation, please give us a call today. The number to call is 718-877-3100. Consultation is free at no cost to you. So call us today to see if we can be of any assistance to your legal needs. Again, the phone number to call us is 718-877-3100. Tango na money na dango. Kitako na yeme committee wele wele. Habaki Mondongo, Mwana Mabaliko, Habaki Mondongo. Habaki Mondongo, Mwana Mabaliko, Habaki Mondongo, Mwana Mabali, Habaki Mondongo, Mwana Mabaliko, Habaki Mondongo. Tango na money na dango. Kitako na yeme committee wele wele. Sokia se kinga ina wanteo Carolina mwana mama Anda na mona ye Ngai na lula ye Uta na mona ye Nga na kwaya ndeke go Dema pa